was literally a heavy.
He caught the iron.
I think both guys would like to have their respective shots back. Ovechkin and Wilson, and now Wilson, who leads the league in penalty minutes, going after Bieksa, and he better watch that Superman punch if Bieksa gets loose.
Wilson staying in close range, wrestling the veteran down, and the linesman will get in to separate Seller Colo, and Noah put a forearm up high.
That was a
and the gloves are off now. Johnston raining rights on Wilson, who's trying to get free.
Well, he cross-checked him up high, and then he attacked Wilson. Now Wilson finally gets his mitts done. This is not going to be done. When you play back-to-backs against the same team, there's a lot of animosity the second night and a lot of nastiness. And Johnston should give the Caps a power play here for him getting after Wilson.
Involving Carrick and Wilson.
Yep, Carrick going out there, and he's one of the tougher guys on the Rangers. He's going to try to go toe-to-toe with Tom Wilson after Wilson with the big hit on Laba, one of the Rangers centermen.
Tom's not done yet.
Nope.
Fueling up for a big right. Here it comes as they chuck him at the finish.
Yeah, and all he's going to hit is a helmet. Tom can hit him cleanly there with a left, which he just caught him a little bit.
Using the glass to get
there
out.
They go.
And right out of the box, it's Wilson dropping the gloves.
They must have talked it over in the benches. Here they go.
Shadow boxing so far. And exchanging rights.
And they're both well rested coming out of the penalty box, as they each received 2 prior to coming out. They had the chit-chat, and here we are.
Maroon going uppercut. Same for Wilson. Still tapping him with those left jabs, and then the right cross.
And Wilson, 12th all-time in penalty minutes in Caps history, just recently passed Chris Simon, the big tough customer. This is a good bout. They're going to be dead tired. They are going to need to go to the locker room to get rested up.
Body blows from Wilson. Maroon still standing.
And notice the shaking of that left arm. And what you're trying to do is knock the other guy off balance, and that's why you're spinning him around. Be surprised the linesmen get in here. Both these combatants are dog-tired.
Wilson already with all those stitches is going to drop the gloves anyway. And Pepper Ostapchuk, 3, 4, 5 straight rights. And down in a heap, and Tom Wilson has to be livid with all those stitches in his upper lip.
And I think that's where the reaction came from Tom, is that first one.
The healthy forward scratch.
He took the warm-up, but he is a scratch tonight for Niea.
Stevenson in the goal. Bjorklund backing him up. Snapshot towards the cage. Right to the waiting, catching mid of Clay Stevenson.
And here they go, Wilson and Mayfield. He didn't like the hit there in the neutral zone by Tom, and Mayfield's their toughest customer, getting the jump with a couple of shots, but nothing lands there against Tom. These two guys are huge. This is a heavyweight.
Wilson gets the right hand free. Mayfield's been pumping rights from the beginning.
Yeah, hitting his helmet a lot. Now they're just going to grab their dead tired, and they'll say, all right, boys, 5-minute majors. To me, a different. Here they go, Smith and Wilson.
Well, Tom wanted it.
Yep.
Brendan's going to give it.
And he said on the bench, he says, yeah, I'll go next time.
As they engage, fans are out of their seats. Wilson gets the right free. Comes underneath. And over the top.
And knocked his helmet off, so now he's at a disadvantage. Smith's helmet's on his right arm.
Wilson raining rights. Connecting on the last one. Head to head. Still going. Locker, is it me or did Smith recently have a skull fracture?
Yes, he did. He did. Got hit with a slap shot.
This can't be very advisable.
Wilson and Nick Bain.
McBain's third fight of the season.
And McBain was the one that caught Ovi knee on knee coming across the blue line.
Straight rights from Tom. McBain responds with short lefts. Haymakers exchanged. Wilson drops him with the rights.
Box, and Krause had him targeted right away to go. He stepped out of the box and he was already right over there ready to fight Tom Wilson.
Wilson hammering away with rights. Down they go.
Well, here they go.
Gloves are off. It's Douglas.
Yeah, and Tom Wilson.
Wilson now throwing the lefts on the exchange. Douglas is wobbly.
Yep, Tom's going to take him down big time.
And finish.
Yep, Tom's smaller than Douglas. Douglas is a huge man.
Barron that takes him down. Gooley, look out. Big hit from Wilson. And that's going to cause a stir. Anderson jumped in right away. Gooley just coming back from that shoulder injury. Took a big hit from Wilson, and Anderson stepped up right away for his teammate. And that is a big ask of Josh Anderson. And Anderson's got the rights going and takes him down. What a scrap and what a stand-up by Josh Anderson. Sticking up.
As Iginla stares daggers at Tom Wilson.
He dropped the gloves first right away, and this is something where a veteran's trying to energize his team, Joe. And he knows Wilson's the Caps' tough guy.
Iginla got into a little spat with Chris Kunitz last night. It didn't feature as many attempted.
Right back around again, and a collision as the puck was not kept by Malkin. But now we have gloves coming off, and it is Alexiak and Wilson. And Alexiak down, and Wilson will skate around and eventually go to the box.
Somebody better grab on Alexiak there. He was popped by Tom Wilson and going to need some help getting to the dressing room. And the first time that
At all times, and that's been a case. Orpik's going to scrap. Or
Wilson, it's
yeah.
Wilson and Watson.
Yep.
And Wilson with a heavy-duty right in front of Philip Grubauer, who has the best seat in the house.
Didn't take him too long to drop the mitts with Watson. First of all, it started with a great hit. That's why I thought it could have been Orpik coming across there. Whoa, that right, he's trying to unload there. Good scrap.
Wilson
Caught him there.
jamming away with the rights.
Whoa.
Has the right hand free, and he's pummeling Austin Watson.
Yep.
And finishes with...
we have a scrap here. Ryan Reeves is attacked by Tom Wilson. And Reeves goes down. A bit of a wrestling match.
But we have not seen Ryan Reeves go down very often. Now,
Referees here tonight.
Gloves are off, fists are flying. It's Ryan White and Tom Wilson.
And you know White was sent out to do something to try to change the momentum. And Wilson jackhammering White. He's got him tangled all up, and I don't think White can see because of his long locks.
Round and round they go. There's the roundhouse right. White wants to wrestle Wilson down.
Wilson could have drawn this up before. A couple big hits from either guy in this game so far. And Josh Anderson, Torts mentions that he thinks it got a little too good to him on the top line. Well, this is exactly what he wants to see. Play with an edge. He's a big guy. He's fought Chara. And now he's taking on Tom Wilson. Wilson's a power forward.
Takes exception, and he and Wilson are going to have a go under and over for Adam McQuaid. Wilson holds his ground, goes for the jabs, and they're just trading right now. Gets the helmet off. Oh, McQuaid, a couple of big blows. Down goes Wilson. Adam McQuaid with a thunderous right.
Bishop then gets cleaned out.
And now Wilson's going to go. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Gudas. Like it. Big Willie hasn't had a fight this year. He was asked a couple of times down in the American Hockey League, but no one really wanted to tussle with Big Willie.
And then Ott was drilled, and he's upset. Reeves in a little dance activity. Now they throw the mitts down. Reeves and Tom Wilson. Reeves a couple of overhand rights. Wilson's a big boy. Reeves landed that one in the back of his head, and down goes Wilson.
Going on up the ice. Meanwhile, we've got Kaslick and Wilson engaged behind the net. Now it's blowing down. And for Wilson, he was already out for a minute 15 here. And Kaslick out for 40 seconds. So, end of a shift to engage like this. Now they're going to start throwing. Wilson with a couple shots in the back of Kastelic's helmet.
On to Marchand. Marchand able to hold and then pass it to Bergeron and back down. And we got a stoppage of play and a scrap going on back down the ice. It is Wilson and Chara.
Stalin, look out, Capitals are coming. Yeah, somebody's got to get a hold of Wilson. He's the most dangerous one out there. Oshie is throwing punches at someone being held by the linesman. Yeah, he's coming in the backside on Dalvin. And Tage Thompson against the boards has a pretty good hold of somebody, and they might let him go. Thompson and Pacioretty. Yeah, good thing Greenway's got. He's got Thompson and Pacioretty are gone. Right hands by Tage Thompson and Pacioretty. Thompson's letting him go. Upper hook. Wilson up top now on Greenway as they start slugging at one another. Thompson keeps throwing bombs. Greenway and Wilson as well. Pacioretty.
But now he's got him. The initial penalties to Wilson, who wasn't going to take no for an answer. I'm not sure what he's so mad about. He went to throw a hit.
I think the Brett Conley thing probably.
Yeah, well, there you go. Good point. It was Goodbranson who hit Conley. We just chronicled that hit that knocked him out of the game.
The linesmen are standing right there.
Lonnie Cameron, Kyle Murchison. But they haven't had their fill quite yet. And Goodbranson to the uppercut.
Yes. Wilson trying to come over the top.
And now the
Wilson right off the get-go. Yep. You could see them talking before the puck was even dropped. Ashton, just a recent recall. His dad, a longtime NHLer, over 900 games, Brent Ashton. And there they are going after each other. Linesman letting him get up and get down. And that's probably a bad thing for Ashton.
Wilson going to the body blows. Uppercuts, throws lefts. Takes a few lefts. Ashton, a very game customer, and now he's in trouble. As the linesmen break him up. And Tom Wilson gets the salute from Wilson.
With Thompson. Thompson took Jensen hard into the boards. Wilson comes over to defend his teammate. Nate Thompson acquired just prior to the deadline from Montreal by Philadelphia.
Wilson went at Hunwick, Jim, right off the bat, and Martin was behind the play, saw it, and went right after it.
This is the third time they've scrapped, but it's been a couple of years, and Martin was an Islander. And Wilson was a rookie. Two Toronto boys, one of the home team, one of the visitors, and two big boys.
Some nervous family and friends in the crowd watching as well.
Here,
Has to dance with. Yep.
It's Coleman and Wilson.
Probably a mismatch for Coleman. Probably not too
my
wide.
goodness.
Yep.
3 straight rights.
Oh, yeah.
I think Wilson's a little bit more accustomed to this than Burakovsky, Blake.
Yeah.
Have that for lunch.
Yeah. That was a miss.
Gloves are off. Oh, Thornton. And Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Retribution for the Oshie hit.
Whoa.
And Wilson clobbers him with a right cross. Down goes the veteran.
Tom Wilson has not fought this year until now. First fight of the season, and Foley gets the left hand going. In tight, Brandon Bolin giving Wilson some problems. Tom Wilson's a pretty tough customer, but Bolin gets the edge on him in that scrap. And they wind up in a...
Wilson and Lee are going to go, or at least that was the early indication. And Lee puts Wilson down. Lee threw his gloves down first, and then Wilson, for a split second, I thought maybe about to say, oh, that's your problem. And then he decided to go after Lee, and Lee really leveled Wilson, who made a nice recovery as the linesman now.
Gloves come down. It's Wilson and Simmons.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. Simmons knew he was going to be called on, and this is a good rock'em sock'em fight after Wilson took the initial penalty.
Lots of uppercuts, right crosses. Two guys very well versed in the fighting department.
That's a heavyweight bout there.
Especially the opposition and how strong the Capitals have been.
Wilson and Lemieux. This has been brewing all night long.
So the threat was sleep.
Because Kuznetsov got clipped.
Wilson raining rights on Ian Cole. Uppercuts landing. Wilson teeing off on Ian Cole.
Yep. And he took exception to the hit.
Right out of the box. Wilson with a right. His helmet is off. They're throwing rights. Wilson and trying to come back is Coburn. Wilson throwing a right and then Coburn. The helmets are off. Here they go. And the gloves are off. Tom Wilson with Brett Ritchie.
Not a surprise. Oh, he hits him there. He's knocked out.
Trading rights. Wilson going underneath. Ritchie getting his hand free at the end. Wilson responding late. And the linesmen step in.
Okay. And then Delorier, delayed reaction to Wilson. And here we go. We talked about this at the start of the game, Joe, if Delorier would go. And he went, he hesitated, and then said, okay, I haven't danced tonight. And he's got a partner in Wilson.
Delorier is tough. He doesn't have the same reach as Wilson. He catches him with a roundhouse right. Wilson switching, Delorier staying with the rights and feeding him a couple to Tom Wilson on his way down to the deck.
And Tom Wilson will go.
Extra call on Petrovich, I think. And Petrovich wants to go with Tom Wilson.
Boy, I'm not sure what started that. Wilson, of course, is no stranger to fighting, but he looks like, there you go. Took him a while to get things going, but I'm not so sure what happened.
Well, I think they called the original extra penalty on a delayed call on Petrovich as Wilson went down in front.
Deflected down, Shepard stayed with it, and he'll cover in the paint.
Well, here they go.
This had been brewing for a while during the commercial break. Wilson and McCarron, there was no doubt they were going to go.
And McCarron's bigger. He's taller than Tom, but they're two big heavyweights here trying to get loose. Tom got the first shot in with his right.
Round and round we go. Another straight right. Drop the gloves.
Tom Wilson and Flyers defenseman Robert Hayes.
The hit Wilson put on Giroux. Wilson scrapping with Simon Benoit.
They fought before, I think. And there they are going at it again. Wilson trying to get the upper hand. His first fight since coming back in the lineup.
Wilson getting the right hand free.
the left post.
Luke Shen and Tom Wilson with the mitts off.
These are heavyweights.
Wilson gets the right hand free late in the battle.
Big hit on London on their next meeting, and the gloves come off. You can almost call that. Down they go. Wilson trying to pump a couple of right hands in.
Here they go.
Gloves are off. Punches thrown. Tenorti and Wilson.
Yep. Tenorti with his dad Mark watching up in one of the suites. He comes to a lot of the games. Tinner is a big rig, and he's got leverage against Wilson, and Wilson caught him with one there.
Exchanging of the body blows to the ribs. Tenorti with a right cross. Wilson follows suit.
They're really in sight, and both have extremely long arms.
And McEwen's ready to go, and he jumps on top of Wilson and starts firing. And now they get squared up. So it's Wilson and McEwen. McEwen wanted this as he pushes Wilson up against the corner. Wilson gets the right uppercut. Now over the top, McEwen with the right. Now it flies off. Down goes McEwen, and they both. This season at Nashville and against the LA Kings right here.
Here they go.
Off the draw, there's a fight.
Yep, it's going to be Tom Wilson and
Marcus Foligno.
Yep. Tom's trying to shake him right off. I'm sure Foligno asked him to dance coming off the bench to try to keep the energy going.
Both Foligno and Wilson.
And Luke Shen, Wilson among the leaders in the National Hockey League and fighting majors. A young kid, but he can throw him. And Luke Shen can take care of himself as he is showing right here. Boy, Erskine still wants to go. Now Simmons.
Look out. He and Wilson dropping the gloves here at Staples Center.
It happened very fast. As soon as Quick came out to get the puck, that's when both guys kind of came together, and they were ready. As soon as it happened, trying to get arms free. Wilson has the right free, but you see what Clifford's trying to do with the elbow grab. Short jabs. Clifford protecting himself well here, so Wilson can't get there. Now Clifford decides to throw over the top. Wilson does the same. Those short jabs inside are usually used to knock the guy off balance or try to get him off balance. But now this is becoming...
Foligno going at it with Wilson, and he's a tough customer. But Foligno holding his own here.
Both guys wearing the shields. So if you're going to throw them, you've got to come up underneath. Mike Wilson is he is a tough customer, and again, he's only 19 years old. Played junior in Plymouth, but again, the attitude right now.
Both being worn by Francois Saint Laurent. Yep, there you go. You can see this coming.
Wilson 6'4", 215. 6'5", 228 is Sestito. Neither is new to this.
Got leveled in the corner, and he is slow at getting up as the puck goes to center. And now we've got a battle starting now as Foligno goes right after Wilson, who is the one who knocked down Leno. Foligno and Wilson try to tie one another up and get a couple of punches in. They hit the deck, and the linesmen aren't going to let it go.
Wilson throwing a forearm here. Patrice Cormier battling him.
See this one going now, Wilson, and ball. The right by Falk, the right by Wilson. A couple of short lefts, tried for the uppercut, then roundhouse rights. They waltz around and test the jerseys and go at it some more. Uppercuts by Wilson.
Wilson and Frederick.
Well, that was brewing since last game. And Wilson's got the upper hand here against Frederick, who's fought just once in the NHL. But Frederick holding his own early on here.
Both guys.
They stood on the ice and talked to one another. So this is a carryover of that hit. And they're getting involved. And now Paul grabs him and gets involved.
Uppercuts from Wilson. The Wilson hit on Shabbat.
Here
Leaves
they
it
go,
on.
center ice.
The gloves are down. It's Morrow and Wilson.
Yeah, right on the get-go. And Wilson getting the better of the veteran at the center ice stripe. Morrow
Right now. Is that Wilson?
Who had 200 minutes in Rockford last year. That's Wilson, who scored earlier in this period for the Cats. The stick is wedged in, as you can see. Couple of attempts at close quarters. Doesn't look like anybody's gotten any damage done.
Look out! Wilson is a tough customer. Pizzetta is ready to rock here at the Bell Center. They're both set and ready to square off. You just heard the buzz in the building and the anticipation. Wilson, Pizzetta, tied up in the corner. Nothing really thrown yet as they're just hanging on. Pizzetta trying to get the right free. Wilson gets a right going. Tries to throw him down, and he will. And the gloves are down.
Yeah, Bertuzzo and Wilson. Wilson calling him out. Yep. Wilson's had enough.
And he does his job.
This is big for Greenway here because you know what? Wilson has hit power 3 times now. Twice in one shift and then right there. I think Greenway stepping in here. Not known for the big fisticuffs like Wilson possibly is, but he's setting a tone.
And here we've got Stewart and Wilson dropping the gloves. Stewart coming to the defense, I'm sure, of Parisi after Wilson knocked the Minnesota Star out with the high stick.
Now, they want to drop the gloves. I don't know about this. It's the second time that Wilson has engaged and challenged the Preds captain. I don't like this trade. I really don't. Especially front end of it back-to-back for Fisher. He's got to go again tomorrow. You're right. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing for number 12 to gain. Although he's going to return fire. Oh, look at Fisher. Tough as nails. Tough as nails. Tom Wilson. This is a guy, he does this for a living. Fisher crosses up on him. Preds captain comes with the left hand, and I'll tell you what.
Matt Martin, here we go.
And Wilson, and this, I'm sure, goes back to the play that sent John Tavares spinning hard into the boards. Matt Martin with a couple of short right jabs on Wilson, a former first-round pick of the Capitals who can throw him. And they're both throwing pretty good right hands here. Martin, the last few, an answer from Wilson, who's trying to get the elbow gear off. He and Martin kind of holding on right now. Now it's a wrestling match, and this is where the linesmen generally come in. And here they are.
We're going to have some hits here. It is Tom Wilson slugging away on Zach Sill.
Filling Tom Wilson's dance card. Wilson gets a furious fusillade of lefts in on Frederick, who's got lead in his boots. Wilson swinging.
It's Wilson and Yashkin.
I'm not sure Yashkin has ever really.
Gazdick and Wilson, and here we go.
Well, Wilson knew he might have to answer the bell here. Won't have much say in the outcome of this hockey game as Gadzik tries to get loose and throw that big right. Wilson's a big, strong boy. And now you see both guys exchange a couple of rights. And there's Luke Gadzik.
Nice. Throwing punches here with Chernak.
This has been coming for 3 games. Oh, my.
And Kucherov, and it's Chernak throwing a couple of punches. The linesmen move in there. Well,
Because they're going to go after Wilson, and there's going to be a bout here in the second period.
Luke Shen and Tom Wilson with the gloves off. Wilson with the uppercuts as Luke Shen. And we got a fight here as it's Wilson and Clifford. This was brewing, and away we go.
Now, of course, this goes back to Wilson running into the goaltender in the first period. They spent much of the next couple of minutes arguing back and forth here, and Clifford and Wilson will drop the mitts.
90th fight for Clifford in his NHL career. Wilson, number 76. Not their first rodeo, trying to get the hands free and get to work. As Wilson gets a right free, helmet comes off. Clifford trying to get him back with a right hand. Another right from Wilson. Wilson, couple of shots with that right hand. Clifford trying to answer. Clifford down, back up. He delivers a right. And finally broken off. Borowiecki and Wilson will go.
That's why they brought in Borowiecki. He has only played a handful of games, but he's their resident tough guy. Spent a lot of years in Ottawa.
Wilson back after missing 4 games with an upper body injury. Mostly a wrestling bout there. At center, Borowiecki and Wilson.
And I got a ringside view, and Tom Wilson is just hammering him with 4 different uppercuts. Had a great...
Gavrikov. Gavrikov took a high hit from Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson showing a little frustration. And how about David Savard? Wilson got the jump early, and now David Savard just holding on here. David is not a guy that drops the gloves, but he's willing to throw that last one. Good on.
Look out here, Tom Wilson with Corbinian Holzer. Corbinian Holzer trying to hold his own, but he's up against a tough customer.
Deflected out of play, and the gloves are down. Clifford and Wilson.
Clifford's their energy guy, trying to get things stirred up early on. Wilson has size over Clifford. Both guys just hanging on here in the corner to the right of Quick.
Somebody's going to eat an uppercut soon. Wilson lost his lid. Now he bulldozes Clifford to the boards.
Pretty good one going right now. A lot of strength there, trying to hold on.
There's the uppercut and another. And that's enough.
Yeah, I knew this was probably going to happen.
Kevin Miller.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, too. You knew that was going to happen. Willie running around a little bit along with Miller.
Wilson working the body blows. And an uppercut.
Ooh, that stung Miller.
In the last exchange.
Down on the ice. No, it's Achari. Achari's down, and Wilson's dropped the gloves with Marcus Pettersson. Ooh, that's not a good match for Pettersson. You can see the linesmen are trying to get in there. Wilson's pounding away at the helmet of Pettersson, and now the linesmen do get in there.
There's a penalty coming up here, and Halmo and Wilson want to go. A pair of 43s. Meantime, Kartner and Jay Beagle also shove. But the main event, such as it is to this point, Wilson and Halmo. And the linesmen are going to let him go for now. No one's been able to throw a thing even resembling a haymaker yet. Now Wilson tries. He got a right undercut or uppercut in underneath on Halmo. Fires a couple of right hands. Halmo's in trouble here as Wilson drops him and the linesman intercedes.
A little bit of a...
Wilson and Foligno going at it right at the top of the circle in the Buffalo end. Wilson and Foligno, and they're really pounding away at one another as Foligno steps back and throws one. Then Wilson switches hands, and they go to the boards in the corner, and the linesmen stand back and let him go, and down on the ice they go.
Tied up at 2, and now Wilson and Dalton Prout, 2 heavyweights here. And Prout just wails away. Oh my, a one-sided affair. That's that. And Tom Wilson.
Well, Willie's trying to get some momentum for his hockey team, trying to change the course of this hockey game. And Belmore is a tall rig back there, and Willie trying to get a few shots in early.
Big uppercut from Wilson. Turns the momentum of the fight and wins it for number 43.
And Vatanen are the players who get the assists, and now Wilson and Boyle.
Well, Brian Boyle came to the aid of Brian Gibbons. He felt Wilson in the neutral zone, gave a little bit of a dirty hit to Gibbons. He came across. It was a big collision. Now both these guys, big fellas, throwing a few punches. Wilson gets Boyle to one knee.
Round 2 for Wilson and Kevin Miller.
Nice that Wilson was able to come out of the locker room, and now he gets the jump on Miller for the second bout of this hockey game, and it's a good one.
Kevin Miller responding here and dropping Wilson to the deck.
Wilson got spun around and
Near the bench at the other side. That's Tom Wilson throwing punches.
Well, two tough customers. Wilson, a pretty big lad, and Borowiecki, no stranger to dusting it up.
Begins. Wilson and Braden Shen.
And Wilson got a jump on him, throwing some bomb lefts. Braden Shem trying to recover. I think he got nicked up early, and that really knocked him off course here in this battle. Wilson was looking and talking to Hartnell earlier in this period, and everyone knows Wilson with a ton of fights in the OHL. He's a
Wilson. Yep. It did not take long, Pierre.
Nope. He showed it in the warm-up, Brendan Smith, and he knew. And he's hanging in there real well against an unbelievable heavyweight in Tom Wilson.
He certainly is. Well, 3 fights simultaneously right at the start, and now 50 seconds in, Wilson's first shift.
They brought it back into their own zone. He did a flyby.
Wilson dropping the mitts. Punches flying. Wilson and Anders lead.
Yep. And Wilson giving it to him.
Wilson finishing that bout impressively.
Well, the captain's been all
Forms of justice. And here goes Tenorti against Wilson. Tenorti goes to the ribs, comes over the top. Wilson firing away. Tenorti gets a couple blows in.
Hit by Wilson on Shen, propelled him into the boards. Grossman responds right away. Now Simmons is in there for the Flyers.
You can see the fight going on. You can see the difficulty that Shen is under. Shen went in head first. The Traders trying to keep him down. He tried to get up right away and couldn't a couple of times.
Yep, toe-to-toe.
With McCabe exchanging rights.
Yeah.
Wilson's got a hold of his sweater in the same spot, tries the short lefts, and then swings with the overhand rights. Beaulieu hanging in there, but the reach advantage to Wilson. He goes with an uppercut now. Beaulieu comes over the top. Again to the short lefts goes Wilson. And the linesman will intervene.
In a battle with Wilson. Wilson caught him with the right uppercut, then is pounding away with jabs on the left side.
Yeah, he's getting his arm free there against Clune, who comes into this game leading them in penalty minutes. He's a gamer, but doesn't have the size of a Tom Wilson. Wilson, I think this is his 6th fight or so already this season. And he connects right there with his right hand.
Wilson outstanding to take down Clune.
Watson dropping the gloves. Going at it, center ice. Watson got a hard right hand in. Watson down to the ice with Wilson.
Boma and Wilson.
Tom Wilson, Brandon Prust early in this one. Now they get it tight. Prust with a short right. Wilson just 19 years old. It's his 12th NHL fight in his first year.
Yeah, this kid's been a gamer all season long, and it looks like these two are just going to grab on for the most part here. Both energy players. Oh, there's a tough one there in the youngster. There's another one.
Couple of uppercuts at the end by Brandon Prust. The run of the gas linesman jump in and break it up.
Como grabbed Wilson and just brought him right into the players' bench by the Penguins.
They got all kinds of stuff. Rick Tocchet's going to have to get over here. Latta's in here. He's got Downey. We've got everything going on. Rick Tocchet playing the role of peacemaker. I never thought I'd say that, Eddie. Steve Buck, we got it all over. We got sticks flying. We got bodies going. This is what you would expect. And guess who's in the middle of it? Tom Wilson, who was put on a line with Ovechkin and Backstrom to create some room.
And Wilson. Yeah, Jared Bull took a run at Latta, had his head down. Jared was not going to. Tom Wilson's big boy, too. Jared Bull was having words off that initial faceoff.
And now Wilson draws in Anderson. Anderson goes into the Washington bench. Wilson trying to get at him, and now they're fighting in the bench. Anderson and Wilson have gone into the Capitals bench.
There are a lot of guys on the ice here that shouldn't be. Anderson and Wilson are now down on the ground as players are trying to reach over. Evans is getting in, trying to stop Duhaime from reaching over. The linesman is on top of both of them.
Down at center, and that's Greenway.
Here comes Tom Wilson grabbing on the Greenway.
And Jordan was ready for this as he tried to get the distance between that first shot. Greenway snuck, or rather Wilson snuck the first one in. Greenway.
Start throwing, boys. Start throwing here.
Still Greenway trying to find his way past that straight arm of Wilson. And Wilson's out of gas.
Yeah, he's off for at least another 5, probably 7.
Yep. And it looks like the Branson, isn't it?
That is the guy who can look eye to eye with Tom.
Yep.
DeBranson throws the big uppercut.
Well, Tom's first game, he's making it a big game here for himself. Getting involved physically, getting a goal, and now having to drop the mitts with DeBranson for that shot from the side on Miro, who was off balance right into the board.